Hello, everyone. Pastor George here with Culture Thursdays, and I'm continuing my little mini series here on politics. And I'm going to use this to, touch things that I probably won't touch very highly in my sermons, so we focus on other things. And so this week, I wanted to talk about how to talk shop. How do you talk politics with people? So I know that many of us in the church are politically active, that we pay attention to the news, that we follow the politicians that we like on social media, and generally you can't really escape what's currently happening, right? We live in such a polarized time. That's one of everyone's favorite words, right? Polarized. It's like we're the North and South Pole. That's how polarized we are. And so you can't escape it. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to teach you guys how to talk about politics in a loving and Christian way with other people. It's really hard because we live in what I like to call a gotcha culture. And what that means is that when we talk about anything contentious with anyone, we go into the conversation wanting to win, right? We go in saying that we're right, you're wrong, I'm going to prove that you're wrong, and I'm going to embarrass you. That's usually a big part of it, is embarrassing. You can see this happen in the political debates that we've seen themselves, right? Both last night's VP debate and the last week's presidential debate is they basically kind of go in, and this happens in Congress and other places, not so much to actually convince the other side to change their vote or whatever, but really to embarrass the other side. This happens a lot. I think this is just a side note. I think this is why they should never broadcast the whole White House press briefing stuff, because that just turns into a time where people try and either get the press secretary, or the press secretary tries to get the reporters, and it's just so stupid. I can't stand it. Whatever. The point is that we live in a culture that really prizes that. And so that is not the attitude that we as Christians should have when we go into political conversations with other people. There's a certain point you can reach with friends and with others where you're able to jazz each other a little bit and go back and forth. But with most people, that is not how you talk politics. You go in and you actually want to go in and want to understand genuinely what the other person is thinking about. Do not cast your aspersions on them, right? So don't say, oh, you are a blankist, right? A fascist, a communist, a socialist, a whatever, a racist, whatever you want to say. You can't say that. You actually have to start, and you need to follow their line of logic. Those things may end up being true, though most of the times in my experience, they're not. You actually just need to be able to understand where they're coming from and what they're arguing, right? This is really important for us as Christians, because if we're as divided as we say we are, and many people believe we are, then we are the only ones that have the ministry of reconciliation, right? So when we go in and we talk, we can disagree with you, with the other person, right? But what we have to do is we have to actually hear them out and what they think is happening, right? I know personally that I've had political conversations with several of you already, and that's fine in the sense of I don't think I've given anything away, but I certainly have found out what many of you believe, which is fine. I support you guys in thinking those things, even if I disagree with you. The point is that I try to understand where you're coming from, right? I don't use my pulpit as a bully pulpit to try and force anyone to vote or think a certain way, right? That's the whole point. The point is to get you guys thinking and to make these decisions for yourselves. And that's the exact same mentality you should have when you interact with other people. And I know some of you have done this very well just from the experiences that we've had. But you can never make politics a central issue of your relationship with anyone else. If you ever cut someone else out of your life because of politics, that's not good, right? Especially as a Christian, because we are first and foremost ministers to other people about Jesus. And when we put politics before Jesus, then we completely fail to do that. So they're not public figures, right? They're other citizens, they're friends, they're family. So do not let that happen, all right? So if you go in, you can disagree, and you can have a lively and spirited debate, but the whole point has to be to honestly hear one another out and actually try and convince each other. This is best done when no one else is around. That way you have no pressure of destroying the other person in front of other people. All right? That's what I have to say to you today. We'll continue with more political thoughts next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace out.